follow me next talking about K-pop. But we have the Chinese to thank about K-pop. Do you guys know that? You know why? In the 1990s, there was a channel, there was the only MTV-like channel broadcasting out of Hong Kong called Channel V. And normally it would only show Chinese or Hong Kong pop stars. But then they saw that Koreans were creating content. And they decided, oh, well, we need to show this. Because why? The production value was fantastic. The music was catchy with these riffs and things. Dance moves. I mean, that's how it started to get outside of China. It started to go into Japan as well. But then Japan pushed back with its J-pop, okay? And then, of course, how it's evolved since then. It's the technology that we've leveraged. But let's look at where we came from. You can play the click. This was one of the most popular groups at the time, Sotaeji, with this song called, you know, Na Arayo, which means I know. They were probably the first instance of what I would say like a Backstreet Boy group or NSYNC of Korea, okay? But very few people know that that song was actually in a US film in 1994. First time, but here's the craziness of it. Can we go back? Let me go back, I'm sorry. You can play this clip.
Oh no, we're fine.
This movie is called Three Ninjas Kick Back. All right? But here's the craziness of it, guys. This is why Hollywood is threatened by Korea's Hollywood, or what we call the Hollywood of the East. There's a Chinese-American main character who's playing a Japanese character who, wait a minute, wait for it, who they go to Japan, but it's a Korean pop song playing in the background. So that tells you that the American Hollywood doesn't know a thing about the differences between Chinese, Korean, and Japanese. Isn't that a shameful? I mean, that's just sad. But that song, when very few people know, that was the first instance that K-pop was introduced to the US market. It's hilarious to me. And then, of course, we've already talked about Girls' Generation, the strides that we've come. You know, Psy, I don't need to say anything about Psy. You guys all know that, right? But Girls' Generation, Big Bang, G-Dragon, T.O.P. I mean, these are all things that are just now coming into play. It's amazing. So we need to realize that then there's a gap that is bridged, and that gap is between music, there's always cinema, okay? Again, cinema started back in 1945, after the liberation, after the Korean War. There was two parties of filmmakers, ones that were very left-wing, and then ones that were very right-wing, okay? There was also the first film that was a major box office hit, The Tale of Chunyang, okay? In 1960, you know, the government controlled a lot of the filmmaking, but there was a lift behind that. There was a freedom of expression that came about. And that shift of censorship moved from the government to civil organizations. But more importantly, there was also standards being set. The Grand Bell Awards, which is like their Korean version of Oscars, as well as the Korean Motion Picture Act, and a very heated issue, the screen quota system. But I'm not going to go into that. Here was one of the first films that actually came into the United States. It took somewhat of a imitation, go ahead and play it, imitation from the Japanese. You'll see why here in a minute. If you get a chance to watch it, you should. If you're a sci-fi fanatic as I am, you might appreciate it.
Well, this is one.
And again, these are all Korean actors. It was shot in Korea. Okay? But look, it's our knockoff version of Godzilla. And then from the 70s to the 90s, we had such growth. I mean, amazing growth. And then filmmakers such as Im Kwon-taek or Pae Young-gun, they began getting major critical acclaim. We were in the festival market. I mean, I got to tell you, back in 2008, I had the privilege of meeting Chae Min-sik at the Cannes Film Festival for his winning film, Old Boy. But 1999 was a critical point. Go ahead and play the clip, please. this film broke major box office records. It became, what I would say, it caught the attention of Hollywood, it caught the attention of filmmakers everywhere as to the depth, as to the story, as to the acting behind this particular film. And for those of you who don't know this film is Shiri, okay? And then more films got recognition. Old Boy, My Sassy Girl, and then the directors and production houses were starting to win major awards, and Hollywood started knocking. And then we've transpired to this. Again, this is where Korean pop and Korean cinema merge. Go ahead and play the clip, please. Who all know, who is this? Who's this main actor? There you go. So, again, Korea's being very smart on how to bridge those two worlds, cinema and pop. So, oh, by the way, it's playing December 6th here in Centerville, if you're interested to watch it. So what's the future? Well, technology is going to prove to be a continual partner in this, as more and more utilization of social media, YouTube, Twitter, everything, Instagram, there's just going to be a constant barrage of what I would say this culmination of music, drama, and cinema. But here's the thing. I feel that there's also going to be smaller waves, because I come from the Asian American perspective. I feel like there's going to be smaller waves, both here homegrown. We need Jeremy Lin's, but we also need homegrown Asian American cinema, drama, and music. Okay? We also need smaller waves from other Asian countries. There's going to be a Thai wave. There's probably going to be a Vietnamese wave. Because as their technology and as their production houses and facilities and music polishing gets better and better, you're going to see other little waves come about. So I invite you to take one moment of silence, because right now they're going through a major typhoon, and that's a huge economic market for the Korean economy. So I say take a moment of silence and hope that that typhoon it's probably hitting there as we speak, does not demolish the infrastructures that are there. So, again, that's the end of my presentation. Feel free to contact me. I've got this presentation on file if you want to read more about it, as well as really start thinking about the economic implications of Hallyu. I mean, just the money. I've been involved with a lot of the productions of concerts that are here in the Washington, D.C. area, Jay Park, BAP, for those of you who are at BAP. And then don't forget next week, Infinite. All right, so again, that's all my time. Thank you guys. Have a great night.